Now here's a question. What is the means by which information from external reality gets into your brain, right? So we live in this external reality world, right? Okay, but how does information get into our brain? Because our brain is basically encased in our head, in our skull, and it has no means of communication. It's floating in a bath of cerebrospinal fluid. It has no means of communicating with the external world other than through the senses. So, vision comes in through the eyes. So you might say that you might, for instance, think that you're looking at me, but you're not actually. You're looking at photons of reflected light from the image. And photons of reflected light hit the photoreceptors in the retina, of which there are 5 kinds. We see 3 colors, which is cyan, magenta, and yellow. Although we think we see lots of colors. And we see black and white. So we have 5 types of receptors, rods and cones. Actually, well, 2 types of receptors, 3 colors, and black and white. All of our receptors work on basically an on-off kind of situation. It's triggered or it's not. It's binary. It's on or off. And everything in our neural system is basically on or off. And from that information from the retina goes to our occipital cortex at the back of our head, where it is constructed into a virtual reality visual simulation of the external world. So, okay, you think you're seeing at me, you think you're seeing me, but actually you're seeing a virtual reality simulation of me in your brain, and you confuse that, or you mix that up, or you mistake that for actually seeing the external world. I hope that makes sense to you, because it's actually the truth, right? This is not a metaphor. I'm not making this up. This is how your eyes work. But it's like how your tongue works for taste, right? Taste receptors pick up various kinds of tastes. And I don't know how many taste receptors there are. I haven't bothered to look it up. But it forms the impression of many, many, many kinds of tastes. Similarly, your eardrum resonates with sound waves, and that's interpreted as voice or music or whatever. Your touch receptors interpret the experience of touching things. And it's really the answer to the question is information gets into your brain only through the senses. That's it. And all sensory information is encoded in a binary form. It's on or it's off. And from that, your brain creates a virtual reality simulation of the world, which incorporates all of the sensory information: touch, taste, smell, hearing, sound, and sight. And so our problem with this is that it's not a pure one-to-one correlation between the external world and what your internal reality simulation creates. Much of the sensory information that comes into your system has to be filtered out. Otherwise, you would suffer significant overload. So the insight for today is this: your brain's primary purpose actually is to filter out the external world. The thing is, you don't know what it filters out and what it lets in, because you just have the experience of having the experience.